more clicks to get us going. When I start recording the class, it takes me out of full screen, so I have to do a couple more clicks to get me back in there. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga for Aging Strong. And Chris requested some work with the feet, so I'm going to work that in today. We'll be working the feet in different positions that the feet perform, both strengthening the feet as well as stretching. And also we have two light pair of hand weights for some upper body work and a yoga strap. I also want to target the hip flexor and the IT band. And I put my hand here and here. Hip flexors right in front here. A muscle that attaches to the IT band is just a little bit lateral of that. And they do perform a lot of the same actions of picking up the knee. They get so tight from sitting a lot. So how about we stretch those out today as well? Okay, I have my chair. You might need it for some balance today because as we work the feet, we'll be doing a lot of standing on one foot while we're working the other. You can certainly sit down as well. So I just want you to bring your feet about hips distance apart, and you can take a look at your feet and notice, do you naturally roll in like that, or do you naturally roll out? If you naturally roll in, this is called inversion. And sometimes you can tell that because maybe your foot is a little flatter. If you tend to roll to the outside of your foot, this is called eversion. So I just want you to start doing this action with your feet just to explore your range of motion. So bring your weight to the inside of your foot, like you're rolling in. My knees are coming in just because my feet are going that way, but it's not coming from my knees, it's coming from the foot. And then go out, eversion and inversion. And just roll this back and forth. Now, for me, when I'm doing this, I feel definitely a stretch in my feet and my ankles. But even more than that, I feel like I'm strengthening them to move those directions. So let's do two more with both feet, inversion and eversion. One more. And then see if you can come right to the neutral position. So you should feel even pressure right down in the middle of your heel, and then balance out the pressure right across the ball of the foot. So then I want you to slightly lean forward. Notice how your toes just went grip and then come back a little bit. So we're going to come forward, your toes brace your body so you don't fall over, and then you come back. I was just thinking what I should have done for today, maybe we'll do it next week, is there's a great exercise for your feet where you take a washcloth or some piece, you put it on the floor and you put your foot on it and you start scrunching it with your toes. But this is kind of the same thing. We're scrunching our toes a little bit as we come forward. So you're gripping the floor and then back. And this one's more for strengthening of the toes. One of my Pilates reformer participants, you guys probably all know him because he's a public figure. His name is Eric Escala. He's on PBS channel. He was telling me he just saw an article recently, it might have even been in the Star Trib, that was talking about how important your toes are for longevity because it helps to reduce the risk of falls when you have strong and flexible toes and feet. Because if you don't, then it's more difficult for you to stabilize your body to keep your balance. Okay, so let's do one more of these. Hinge forward, grip the mat with your toes, and come back. Great, now I'm going to hold on to my chair. I just want you to take one foot and you're lifting the heel up, and I want you to stretch the bones of your toes, and then you can drop your heel down and then get a little bit of a stretch back behind the heel. So we're going to go toes and heel. So sometimes when we do this, it's hard to get the little toe to flex. Sometimes I have to kind of get it in that position and then pull it out there. So, okay, now the little one's stretching. There's a great pose we're going to do later in class called toe squat. We'll do that down on the floor from our hands and knees. That's a real big stretch for the toes. Let's do one more of these. And press down with the heel. Okay, we'll do the other foot. So we're coming up, stretching the bones of the toes. I'm going to get that little toe to tuck under better. And then press the heel. Now, we lose mobility of our toes as we age. Why? Because for, 70 years, 60, 70 years, our feet have been in shoes. And unless you're a big barefoot person, we don't use our toes as much when they are locked into our shoes. So this is great work, but I don't want you to feel pain when you're doing this. So what's my mantra? Pain-free range of motion. Good, let's do two more on this side. And sometimes it's hard for me on these to decide if I'm feeling pain or just a really, really hard stretch, because it's a fine line sometimes. Okay, step together. Now I just want you to take one foot and turn it over so you have your toes down, like your shoelaces are down on the ground, and just hold a stretch here for the top of the foot. Now you can kind of decide where you push this down. You can push right on the toes, so I'm going to flex my toes, or you can push down closer to the top of the arch of the foot. So maybe we can roll to the toes and to the arch. Ooh. I remember when I was young and I did dance, ballet, and gymnastics, I had a really nice toe point and it was easy. Now, not so much. I try to get that beautiful line of a pointed toe and my feet just don't go that way anymore. So this is good. We should do this more often. Roll one more time to the toes and then to the arch. Okay, let's switch. Ooh, man, I felt that. Okay, so go to the arch, gently pressing in, and then we'll pull to the toes like you've got them scrunched under, and then flatten out and stretch the arch. So I feel that all the way across the top of the foot up into the ankle there. This would be a real challenge to let go of the chair and to do this foot exercise while we're balancing. So give it a go if you so choose. It would be interesting to see if we performed a balance pose and saw how we did with it, and then did these foot stretches and then performed the balance pose again to see if it actually helped in real time for us to have better connection with the floor, better connection with those muscles, and better balance. Okay, let's step back together. All right, just shake everything out. How's that feel? This is just a beginning, first initial stretches for the feet. We're going to go back and revisit quite a few as we progress through class. But I'd like for you to pick up light hand weights if you'd like to. As we begin to flow through a sequence of movements. So I'm going to face my chair. So I've got the long edge of the mat behind me. Feet either hips distance apart or tight together for a mountain pose. And then we'll sit into chair and bring the weights forward. Now there's a lot of ways we can bring the weights forward. We can bend our elbows. We can kind of do a bicep curl. Or we can reach the arms out long. We can keep them low. We can bring them up higher. So I want you to play with this a little bit and create some variations. So rise up, inhale, sit into chair, bringing the arms forward. So some variations we can do is How are the hands? So we can do palms facing in. We can do palms facing down. We can do palms facing up. So there's a lot of different positions with rotation of the forearm and the shoulders. Keep going. We can also take our arms out on various planes of motion. So not always straight to the front. And then our shoulders are just wonderful joints because they can do circumduction. So we could do a circular movement, any size, and you could reverse that. So we're going to continue this for 1 minute, and I want you to do your own variations coming in and out of chair pose with your arms. And if you don't choose to use weights, that's okay. You can do variations with your arms without weights. And then pick a tempo that is comfortable, not too fast, but you don't have to hang out there a long time either. Good. And seconds. Make sure the movements you're doing are correct for the weights that you have. 10 seconds. Then rise back up to mountain pose. Okay, action with the arms. We're going to do a bicep curl, then open out into a chest expansion, back to the bicep curl, and down. So it's like bringing your hands to heart center, opening out to chest expansion, squeeze the muscles of the back, close in, and down. So we'll do 2 just like that with arms. Heart center, open, close, and down. 1 more. Heart center, open, close, and down. So when you go to heart center, we'll sit into a chair pose. As you go to chest expansion, step your right foot back, open, and you can have your heel up off the floor in the back, or you can press your heel down. Back into heart center, stepping forward. And as you lower your arms, you'll stand up out of chair. Let's do them all on the right side for a few reps. So we come heart center or a bicep curl. Step your right foot back any amount, chest expansion. Love that hip flexor stretch. Close in, stand up, right side again. Down and expand, in and up. 3 more on the right side. Take a big deep breath in on the chest expansion. Great, 2 more. So we're warming up through that right hip as we send the leg back, stretching through the hip flexor. Iliopsoas. 1 more time. And we're really strengthening the left leg as it's staying either in chair or the lunge, getting some nice isometric work. Okay, let's move right into the other side. So we'll bring hands to heart center. Step your left foot back. Your heel can be up or down. Chest expansion. Tighten your glute on that leg. Close in. Stand up. So it's normal for you to be a little bit more wobbly on one side than the other. For me, this is my wobbly side, because my right leg is not as good with balancing, and that's the one I'm standing on as I step back. So I'm a little bit wobbly there. And that's the knee that now has a lot of arthritis. So just do what you can. Take your time, 3 more. This is known as flight of the bird. 2 more. If the weights start getting too challenging, you can set them down anytime. Last one. And come up. Let's alternate sides. 4 on each side, or a total of 8 repetitions. Sit down. Right foot, chest expansion. Close in, chair, and stand up. There's 1 of 8. Switching to the left foot. Six more. Feel the shoulders working here. And the upper back. 5 more. Left foot. Don't forget to add that little glute squeeze when you step back. 4 more. So as you step the right foot back, tighten your right buttock. That's going to help release that hip flexor. 3 more. Ooh, I might have to remove my jacket. I was a little chilled, but not anymore. Good, we have 1 more on each leg. Great job. Last time with the left foot stepping back. And come up. Great job. Okay, 1 weight only is all you'll need, so you can set 1 down. Going to step the right foot back. Press your heel down and make your leg pretty parallel so you really feel a stretch in the back of the ankle. You can brace yourself with your left hand on your left thigh. Bring your right arm up, and we'll do 10 tricep kickbacks here. So we have a stretch that we're enjoying in the back of the right heel and ankle and calf. We have isometric work going in the front leg in the form of staying in our lunge. We have our core really connected and engaged. I think we have about 3 more reps. 10's just a number. We're just going for working that muscle. Hold the last one up, straighten, and then just lower your arm down about halfway. So I'm coming in alignment with my hip, and lift your arm back up straight. We'll finish with 10 more here. And if you'd like to straighten out your front leg, bring this into pyramid so you're stretching your left hamstring. Square off your shoulders toward the floor. About 5 more reps. This is a nice superset for your right tricep and shoulder. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that arm all the way down, rebend the front knee, come up and step in. Okay, I'm gonna have to take off the jacket. How'd that feel? Okay, let's do the other side. So 1 weight in your left hand. You'll step your left foot back a bit. Keep both feet parallel. Make sure you've got some separation in your feet. Front knee is bent. I'm going to actually turn around this way. So front knee is bent. We're going to pick the elbow up and straighten and bend. Now, if you want to kind of work your feet and your toes here, on your front leg, do a little scrunch with your toes. Kind of scrunch them every so often. Scrunch the mat a little bit. 6, 5. Upper arm stays really still, so your upper arm doesn't lower. 4, 3, you can change the position of your wrist and forearm. 2, hold it up straight on 1. Lower down right about to the hip and straight arm lift. Option to straighten out your front leg to do this in pyramid pose. 3. So we're feeling the back leg stretching through the ankle, Achilles tendon, and calf. The front leg stretching the hamstring. 5, 4. Woo, 3 pounds is just perfect for me for this sequence. 2 more. And 1. And then let the arm completely lower, bend the front knee, and step in. Great. Okay, let's take a downward dog. I'm going to use my chair, but you could certainly go all the way to the mat if you'd like. So we'll sweep the arms out and up. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, place the hands down to the chair or floor. Walk the feet back and take a nice stretch through the lats. And breathe. So let the back of the legs lengthen. Upper body, shoulders. And just hold here 2 more breaths. Okay, walk your feet back in. Rise up, inhale, sweep. And exhale, lower the arms. So again, with your chair or the floor, we'll step back into down dog and we're going to provide our feet a little bit of a stretch. So inhale, stretch up. Exhale, swan dive down, hands to the chair or floor, step back to your down dog. And then we'll pick the right foot up and turn the top of the foot to the mat. So you're giving yourself a nice stretch through the top of the foot. Let's hold about 3 breaths. Pain-free range. Good. And then walk back forward. Rise up to take a break for your shoulders. And we'll repeat that on the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Down to the chair or floor. Step back to down dog. Take your left foot, turn it over, and stretch the top of the foot. Good. 1 more deep breath here. And walk forward. And rising up. All right, let's go back again. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, come down. Step your feet back. We're going to alternate lifting a heel up. So you'll lift the right heel, lift the left heel. So down on the mat, looks like this. Right and left. So you're stretching the bones of the toes, alternating from one foot to the other. 4 more on each leg. Kind of pedaling out the feet. 3. 2. 1 more on each leg. Great job. Walk your feet back towards your hands. Rise up and relax. Okay, we're going to do a 3-legged dog. So either using your chair or the mat. We'll inhale, exhale, hands down, step back to your down dog. So your 3-legged dog will lift 1 foot up off the floor. And I want you to circle your ankle. and reverse. Then you're going to swing this leg through to step forward into a lunge. That foot comes forward. Keep the back heel planted, but slightly turn it out and rise up into warrior one. With your right hand, take hold of your left wrist. Gently guide the arms over into a right side bend. Tighten your left glute muscle so you really feel that hip flexor opening. 3 slow breaths. Good. Come out of the side bend, reach forward, step the back foot into your forward bend. Rise up, inhale, stretch. Maybe a little bitty baby back bend here. And swan dive back down. Hands to the chair or to the floor. Step back to down dog. Lift your left leg up to 3-legged dog and circle the ankle. The leg can be any height. Reverse. And then we are going to swing this leg through, stepping up toward the top of your mat, planting the back foot, rising up to warrior one. With your left hand, take hold of your right wrist, lift upward slightly and side stretch over to the left. Really open that right hip flexor up. 3 breaths here. Come back up to neutral. Reach down, step the back foot forward, forward bend. Rise all the way up, inhale. And just exhale your arms by your side. Okay, we are going to be going down into a toe squat. So, Joyce, I want you to stay on your feet and you're going to just do your toes like this, stretching one and the other, or maybe both. And anybody else too that doesn't want to go onto their knees. Otherwise, we're going to come down to all fours. Just dropping down to your hands and knees here. So our idea is to tuck these back toes underneath. And I've got to get the little toe to kind of do what it's supposed to do. Now, because of my knee replacement and my arthritis, I can no longer sit my bottom down on my heels. But if you can, ideally, you would just sit all the way down and hold this toe squat. Otherwise, we can just use our hands on the floor and drop the bum down as far as it feels comfortable to do this toe squat. And let's hold this about 5 slow breaths. Really stretch the toes. This is great for plantar fasciitis as well. Stretching the plantar fascia under the bottom of the feet. Good. 3 more breaths slow. Great job. Let's turn the tops of the feet over. Now, this is a pose in yoga. If you're up on your feet, you're just going to do the top of the foot stretch, maybe on each foot, one at a time. If your wrists are okay with this, from hands and knees, we push down into the ground, we lift our knees up, and we're stretching the top of the feet. Now, as we do this, you might want to come down and up. Do it like repetitions. So up we go. This is great for strengthening the upper body too. It's akin to an arm balance. Come up. Good. Just maybe about 15 seconds. I know it's challenging. And I'm going to do one more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and come down. Okay, let's come into a child's pose or any other recovery stretch you'd like to do, and breathe. So we're going to come down to a seated position in a Z sit. So I love to have a blanket or a cushion or something to put underneath my hip. So I'm going to fold my blanket. So let's come into our Z sit position with both of the legs over to the left side. And then that cushion just helps us to kind of get our hips a little more level. And I have it under my right glute. So what I want to do is strengthen the back side of the left glute and stretch the hip flexor. We can come down onto our hand or even down onto our elbow. We're going to lift this leg up. This is already going to activate the medial glute. Flex your foot and then push back, pause, bring it in. Push back, pause. So each time you push back, you're activating the back side of the glute, which is the glute maximus. To keep the leg lifted as it is here, you're strengthening the glute minimus, and then you're opening up the hip flexor and the TFL or the tensor fascia lata. Good, let's do 2 more. Press back, pause, and in. 1 more, press back, pause, and bring it in and come up. We're going to do 1 more set on that side, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to work your rotator cuff. So you've got your light weight there. It's going to be in the left hand. Again, here you're either supporting on your arm or hand or down on your elbow. I like the elbow because it gets me in a really good position to do the rotator cuff. So try a couple of these. Make sure it works okay for your arm. And then we're going to lift this leg up, flex the foot. As you push back and pause, activate the rotator cuff and come in. Activate, come in. Good. How about 8 reps? Here's 3. The elbow stays in close to the body. 4. Press back, squeeze the glute. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Great job. We'll press yourself back up to release the hand weight. Now we're going to stretch by holding on to the ankle and pulling this back. If you can't reach your ankle, you can take your yoga strap, make a little loop over your foot, and then you've got a hold of that yoga strap to be able to stretch this back. You know what I really like to do with the yoga strap is to bring it over my shoulder and to pull it this way. So that feels like a great stretch. So we're just going to hold this and tighten the left glute. The heel doesn't have to be really close to the glute. It gives you more quad stretch, but what I'm looking for is getting the leg back behind you. Now we can also add a little bit of balance here. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. And last one. Great job. Okay, let's release that side. We're going to stay in this position for a twist. So what I want you to do is take this leg that we just stretched, bring it around to the front and put your foot directly down on the floor. Sit up tall. Reach across with the right arm to hug the knee in, and then rotate to the left. Look over the left shoulder. 3 breaths. And back to the center. Now this leg, the left leg that's in front, we are going to stretch the IT band. Probably you will need your yoga strap for this unless you're really flexible in your hamstring, and then you can use your hand. So I'm going to demonstrate using the strap. I want you to bring it under the bottom of your foot. Lean back a little bit so you can straighten this leg out. You'll hold the strap in your right hand and bring your leg across the body. Now you can do this with your knee bent, but you're not going to feel it quite as much where I'm going for. But this is still okay if you need to bend your knee. But the more you can get your leg straight, which is the reason we use the yoga strap, then you can get that iliotibial band a little bit better. And then I want you to twist back to the left again. So reach your left hand behind you and twist. So we're pulling that left leg across our body to the right, and we're twisting to the left. 3 breaths. Great job. Come back to center. Release the yoga strap. Great job. Okay. We need to do all of that on the other side. So come into your Z-sit position. I'm going to sit on my blanket with my left hip. So it enables my body to be a little bit more upright. We'll reach down, come maybe down to the elbow. Pick the leg up on that right side. Flex your foot so it's dorsiflexed. Push back, pause, come in. Now do this slowly and carefully because it's one of those exercises that sometimes can elicit a hamstring cramp. So if you feel like the back of your leg is starting to go into a cramp, stop, maybe even stretch and go back slow. It has a tendency to do a stretch reflex, which is the muscle tightens up and says, nope, you're not going to do that today. So go nice and slow, trick your brain. Good, 2 more. And 1 more, push back, pause, and come in, rising up. Now you have the option to add your rotator cuff into the picture. So we'll come back to the hand or to the elbow. Try 1 or 2 to make sure that you've got it. It feels okay for you. And then we're going to pick up that right leg again, activating the medial glute. Push back as you activate the rotator cuff and then come in. 8, 7. So our goal is glute strengthening and hip flexor stretching. Good, 4 more. And it's really good to work the rotator cuff whenever we get an opportunity. 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Press yourself up, release the weight. Now we're going to stretch this leg. So if you can reach your ankle, great. If you want to use your yoga strap, even better. Okay, so we're going to come back down, pull the leg back, and hold. Maybe we're balancing here. Good, good, good. Pain-free range of motion. Breathing through the stretch. Keeping your abdominals gently braced and your shoulders back. Good, 2 more breaths. And last one. Very nice. Release that leg. And then we'll come into our first twist. So this right leg comes around. We place it right in front of us, straight down on the floor. Reach across to hug the knee in. Reach behind. Twist to the right and really lengthen your spine up, up, upward so that we can free up the disc space between the vertebrae as we twist. And going for a nice range of motion through your neck as well. Great job. Come back to center. Okay, let's do our IT band stretch here. So if you aren't capable to hold your hand on your leg and get it completely up straight, that's where we use our yoga strap. So we have to lean back a little bit to get the leg to come up. And then we're going to pull it across to the left side of your body using your left hand, getting that leg as straight as you can, and then reach behind and twist to the right. Now, if this one is really a struggle for you, just do another set of that first twist we did. It's a great level 1 option. One more breath. Great. Come back to center and release that yoga strap. Okay, keep your strap close as we're going to stretch the IT band again, but laying on your back. I also want you to have one light weight handy. So let's roll over to lay on your back. If you need a little pillow to keep your cervical spine in neutral, great. Okay, so you'll be taking the hand weight in your right hand. Keep your right foot on the floor with a bent knee and take your left leg straight up. Take your right arm straight up. So the leg and the arm are going to open out away from each other. So you're going to do a single arm chest fly with the right arm while you're doing an inner thigh adduction, and then come back in. So when we strengthen the inner thigh, that helps us then when we are going to stretch the outer thigh. In this case, it would be the IT band. So with the arm, we're working the pectoral muscle, the chest, and the shoulder. We're stabilizing with our core here as our limbs are going away from the midline of the body. And then we're working the inner thigh here. Let's get 2 more. One more. Okay, set the weight down and swap it out for your yoga strap. We're going to go under the bottom of that left foot with the strap. And then if it feels okay for you, slide your right leg out to straight. So we elongate the hip flexor on this right side. Hold your strap in your right hand. Open your left arm out to counterbalance your body. And we're going to come across just a little bit to get that IT band. And then swivel your left foot inward. So you're turning your toes like a pigeon toe. Let's hold 5 breaths. Wow, that really gets the IT band and all the way down the outside of the lower leg as well. Just relax and breathe. Try not to fight the stretch. Okay, as we come back to center with the upper leg, rebend the bottom leg. Let's cross the left ankle over the right thigh. We'll do a figure 4 stretch to bring the knees up. Now, hopefully your foot is accessible here, your left foot with your right hand. And I want you to just gently manipulate each toe. So you'll make maybe 3 circles one way and 3 circles the other way. I'm starting with my little toe. And then go to the next one and do 3 circles one way and reverse. Keep your knees coming towards you for your hip stretch. Come to the third toe. Reverse. And the second toe, circle. Just working on mobility of the toes. And then the big toe. And reverse. Now, if you'd like one more foot stretch, this is called a foot break. So what you're going to do is slide your fingers in between each toe. Just like if you were going to get a pedicure, they put that little thing between your toes. You know what I'm talking about, to put polish on. I want you to do that with your fingers. And then you're just going to move your feet around a couple of times. Just give yourself a nice toe stretch. All right, let's repeat all of that on the other leg. So come on down. You'll need your hand weight in your left hand. Your right leg will be the lifted leg. Your left arm goes up. As we open this left arm into a chest fly, we open the right leg out into abduction and adduction through the horizontal or transverse plane. Inhale when everything goes outward. Exhale to come back to the midline. Looking for about 10 repetitions. This for me is number 5. And try not to let your left knee go out and in when your right one does. Keep your left knee straight up and down. That'll give you more core work. 2 more. Last one, close it in. Good, set your weight down, swap it out for your yoga strap. Take that leg up. Slide your left leg out long onto your mat to relax your hip flexor. Use your left hand on the strap, your right arm counterbalances your body, and we'll bring that leg across just until your IT band says, that's good, that's enough right there. And then pivot your foot in. Just about 5 breaths here. If you think about tensing up your left glute, the leg that's just laying on the ground, that's going to help you to relax that hip flexor a little more. I know I sound like a broken record saying that over and over, but it helps me to remember to think to do it because it's easy. You may as well activate the glute while you're there stretching. Okay, let's bring it back up to the center. Rebend the left knee. Release your strap.